Mr. Ghana Water Company to stop the importation of chlorine for the disinfection of water. We're live on GBC24 and GTV. It's time for News Hour. Good evening. I'm Siyoko Kwakutre, and with us to do the sign language interpretation is Robert Frimpong Mansu. Now the news in detail. The Election Dispute Adjudication Committee of the Ghana Journalists Association has decided to reopen nominations for prospective candidates to contest national and regional executive positions. The nomination opens from now and closes on Monday, 5th June. A statement issued by the committee said vetting of all applicants is on Monday, 12th June, and publication of the voters' register is on 20th June. Elections will be held on Thursday, 20th July. Positions to be contested for and filing fees are President 1,000 Ghana cedis, Vice President and General Secretary 800 Ghana cedis, Organizing Secretary, Treasurer, Public Affairs Officer and Regional Chairperson will pay 500 Ghana cedis. All other regional and branch positions are to pay 300 Ghana cedis. Nomination forms may be obtained from the GJA website at www.gjaghana.org. The committee says individuals who have already paid nomination fees are exempted. The statement said candidates and voters are to pay all dues in arrears and regularize their membership by Monday, 5th June in order to be in good standing. Energy Minister Mr. Boakye Agyarko is unhappy with the springing up of unauthorized fuel stations in the country. Ghana is replete with examples of the havoc fuel stations can cause in the event of an accident. Taking his turn at the two-day policy summit in Accra, the minister said fuel stations located within residential areas are breaking the law and could face sanctions, including demolition, in the interest of public safety.
Of late, it's common to see fuel stations springing up in almost every corner in the capital, Accra, and other cities across the country. Concerns have been raised about the proximity of these fuel stations to residential areas, but concrete action is yet to be taken. Things came to a head when the June 3 disaster struck, claiming hundreds of lives. As if that is not enough, the practice is still going on. At the National Policy Summit, when the Minister of Energy took its turn, the issue came up. In response, the Sector Minister, Mr. Boakye Agyarko, said fuel stations found not to be at the right place will be dismantled.
I have a painful experience in my own village, Krobodumasi. There is a station wedged between two primary schools, tight between two primary schools, in a place called Menekpo. And the primary school children are running all over the place. They had all the permits, including the district assembly permit. Now the man has a permit, procured by what means we cannot tell and do not know. But we have to come back to common sense and insist that there are certain zones within which we will not allow siting of such dangerous facilities. And it comes back to enforcement of rules.
A statement which received applause from the participants at the summit indicated that Ghanaians do not want a repeat of the recent disasters that occurred around gas and fuel installations. Edward Nyakun reporting for GBC24.
The National Policy Summit has ended. On the last day, Energy Minister Mr. Boakye Agyarko gave the assurance that Ghana has enough capacity to generate power for all 10 regions. However, this is hindered by shortfalls in fuel required to power plants. Mr. Boakye Agyarko took his turn at the National Policy Summit in Accra.
We have signed and discussed as a country about 43 power purchase agreements with various power producers, technically committing us to about 10,800 megawatts of power, when in actual fact we need less than 5,000 megawatts. Potentially, we have an overcapacity of about 5,800 megawatts. If we allow this situation to proceed, it means that the capacity charges that this country will have to pay will amount to some $680 million annually by 2020. That is capacity you have procured but you are unable to use. Our policy goal is to ensure accelerated and integrated development of all our oil and gas industry. For us, as a journey just come on the oil field, and as a poor country trying to edge out a living from the oil and gas sector, we need to get every liter of oil out of the ground and every unit of gas out of the sands. We will diversify the end use of gas into agrochemicals such as urea and fertilizers, or petrochemicals and plastics. That is the decision we have to come through. The opportunities that come out of gas commercialization and end use will be the development of gas infrastructure. And by that I mean the piping and the offloading base that come with the gas industry. We also need, as a policy option, to decide how we are going to develop our petrochemical industries and our agrochemicals. There are financial opportunities for financial institutions that partake in gas utilization and commercialization arrangements.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has held discussions with a Chinese delegation on Ghana-China relations. The Chinese ambassador to Ghana, Madame Sumbua Hong, assured Ghanaian officials that her mission will collaborate with Ghana to fight the Galamsey menace.
A World Health Organization report states that there are over 663 million people today living without safe drinking water. While some spend countless hours queuing to distant places, others cope with the health impacts of using contaminated water. The illegal way of mining has contributed to the scarcity of safe drinking water in most towns and villages in Ghana. The act, also known as Galamsey, is destroying the environment and forest reserve. As the fight against the menace rages on, the Foreign Affairs Ministry has held consultations with the Chinese embassy in Accra. Discussions were centered on intensifying all-round cooperation, including addressing illegal mining. In an interview with GBC24, the Chinese ambassador to Ghana, Madame Sumbua Hong, said the Chinese government would ensure that its citizens who are involved in the act are sanctioned and given the needed punishment.
We oppose illegal mining, and we also do not sanction Chinese nationals being involved in illegal mining. We are working with this government to fight against this issue, and we have more confidence of achieving desired results.
The Chief Director of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Edwin Ajay, noted that the government will crack the whip on Galamsey operators to bring sanity to the environment.
They are quite receptive. They understand the seriousness of the issues, and they are willing to sensitize their nationals about the need to desist from this illegal practice. They're also willing to work to support the government in whatever measures we are taking to make sure that whatever has been damaged in terms of the environment is reclaimed.
In 2014, China pledged $56 billion to develop infrastructure in Africa. For GBC24, Ofoyiwa Dakon reporting.
The ministry's building at Cape Coast has become a death trap due to the weakened nature of the structure. The lives of workers and clients who use the building are at risk.
The facility is known by the people of Cape Coast as Ministries Building. As the name suggests, it houses the employees of about 13 ministries, departments and agencies in the central region. It was constructed in the 1970s by the government led by General Ignatius Kutu Echampong. Unfortunately, the important facility has not seen any renovation for decades. It is recalled that during the visit of the former U.S. President Barack Obama and his family in 2009, a part of the edifice saw some painting. Some of the departments within the building are the Controller and Accountants General, the Ghana Education Service, Ghana Immigration, Ghana News Agency, the Audit Service, and many others. The structure has developed deep cracks on almost all the floors, while concrete slabs are peeling off. Although the workers in the building are lamenting the risks involved in working in the facility, most of them were scared to speak with the team for fear of victimization from their superiors. What they forget is that should any tragedy happen, they would be replaced in no time. Mr. Tete from the Audit Service later spoke with GBC24. He explained that reports have been made to all the relevant authorities about the condition of the building, but they are yet to see any reaction.
We are on the 5th floor of the building, and I can say the most serious aspect of the whole thing is the roof has been peeling at times, and we've reported so many times. Once the regional engineer was here, he told us the building itself was strong. There was nothing wrong. But it seems there are some pipes laid up which are broken. For that matter, the water doesn't get access to flow whenever it rains. That's why we see the water coming out from the concrete slabs. All the same, they are trying their best to see what they can do about it.
The 23rd Annual National Conference on Ramadan has ended in Wa in the Upper West region with a call on Muslims to start looking for the moon on the 25th of May. Vice President Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia asked Muslims to exhibit high level of tolerance, particularly with other religious groups.
The National Ramadan Conference was initiated 23 years ago by the National Chief Imam Sheikh Osman Nuru Sharabutu. The occasion is used to determine a common day for the commencement of Ramadan, which is one of the pillars of Islam. This year's conference focused on religious tolerance, a means to national development. It attracted national and regional chief imams, representatives of the Bishop of Wa Catholic Diocese, women's religious groups, traditional rulers and members of the Regional Peace Council. After 2 days of deliberation, a communique was reached and read by a subcommittee member for the conference, Alhaji Ghazali Yakubu.
The first day for the sighting of the moon shall start on Thursday, the 25th day of May, when Sha'ban shall be 29 days. If sighted, Friday, 26th of May shall be the first day of Ramadan. If not sighted, 26th May shall be the 30th day of Sha'ban. Then Saturday, the 27th day of May shall automatically be the first day of Ramadan 2017.
The executive secretary to the National Chief Imam, Alhaji Ariasoboy, said the conference will adopt ways to support government efforts in the fight against illegal mining. The Amir and missionary in charge of the Ahmadiyya Muslim mission, Maulvi Mohammed bin Saleh, said Muslims need to concentrate on things that unite them rather than focusing on things that divide them. The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, asked Muslims to cultivate the habit of tolerance to promote development.
It's really a given that if you do not have tolerance, it's very difficult to get the development that we are all looking for. The tolerance was really a character trait of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He tolerated everybody, even people who were not Muslims in particular. You all know even his own uncle, Abu Taib, was not a Muslim, but they were very, very close. And Abu Taib helped him so much. So we have to tolerate each other, and we have to tolerate others. For us as Muslims, I always wonder why we have so much friction sometimes. There is no need. We are all joined by one thing. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. That alone is sufficient for us.
There was a solidarity message from the representative of the Catholic Bishop of Wa Diocese. Vice President presented 10,000 Ghana cedis to support activities of the conference.
Good evening. My name is Morris Ogbete. Got latest from the world of business brought to you by NIB and Ernest Chemist. In business tonight, investors who have been given licenses to explore oil blocks in Ghana but are yet to develop them are likely to be sanctioned or possibly lose their concessions. The Minister for Energy, Boakye Ejaku, said this at the National Policy Summit in Accra. Report indicates that a number of companies are holding on to blocks but are yet to do them. Edward Nyako reports.
Ghana struck oil in commercial quantities in June 2007, but production started in 2010. The first field was referred to as the Jubilee field to signify the nation's 50th independence anniversary. After that, two more fields, the 10 and Sankofa Ginyame fields, were discovered. At the moment, Jubilee field is producing 100,000 barrels of crude oil per day, while the 10 fields are doing 50,000 barrels per day. However, the Sankofa Ginyame fields in the Tano oil basin is yet to deliver its first supplies. The forecast indicate that is likely to occur by August this year. It will start with oil and then followed by gas in February 2018. Analysts say when the additional sources are on stream, reserve stocks would hold a balance between market forces which are currently lopsided. The FPSO John Ajikun Kufuor has already arrived in the country to commence production. Report from the Energy Ministry indicate about 20 oil blocks have been sold, but none of these companies have made any attempt to drill oil. Mr. Ben Boakye of Africa Center for Energy Policy, ESEP, says it does not augur well for the country's oil industry.
Let us also be willing to activate the sanctions that are outlined in those contracts to compel them to either go to work or abandon the blocks that we have assigned to them. That is the only way we can ensure that we are discovering new fields and also to sustain production of oil in Ghana.
The Minister for Energy, Mr. Boakye Ejaku, hinted companies that have bought oil blocks but have not developed them are likely to face sanctions.
Our policy goal is to commit ourselves to the exploration of Ghana's oil and gas endowments in a sustainable and environmentally friendly manner to the overall benefit and welfare of the people of Ghana. At the end of the day, all the technical people can say all they want. The end result of all of it must be the welfare of the citizens of the Republic.
$7.9 billion have been invested in the 5 wells drilled in deep waters labeled as Sankofa Ginyame fields, thus making it the largest foreign direct investment in Ghana. The World Bank has put in place $715 million worth of backstop guarantees for the project, which will take off in August 2017. Edward Nyako reporting for GBC24.
And still in business, the Ghana Water Company is set to stop the importation of chlorine for the disinfection of water. This follows the introduction of a water treatment technology that produces chlorine using raw salt. This technology will not only reduce the cost of disinfection, but create employment in Ghana's salt industry.
Disinfection is the final stage of water purification that rids water of germs for consumption. Currently, the Ghana Water Company spends 4.5 million cedis annually in importing chlorine from China and India for this purpose. This amount is exclusive of freight and other charges. Apart from the foreign exchange that is lost, experts say chlorine gas can be delicate when not handled well. In search of alternative water disinfection methods aimed at reducing the cost of water treatment, the Ghana Water Company is to begin the piloting of this new technology, which relies on salt to produce chlorine on site. It is estimated that this venture will create about 8,000 jobs for players in Ghana's salt industry, who are expected to produce the salt to the specification of Evaqua Water Technologies, implementers of the project.
If you use this machine instead of importing chlorine gas, you will spend your money not for importing chlorine gas, but you will use your money to extract some salt, produce some salt locally, and so your money will stay in the Ghana. And this is one of the most important stuff for the Ghana water.
The senior project engineer for Imatec, Ghanaian partners of Evaqua Water.
We need to
Still business live on GBC24. Now, from next month, all petroleum products destined for the Sahelian countries will be done through Bost loading station at Bolga in the Upper East region. This is to reduce the rising incidence of diverting petroleum products which are meant to be transported to Mali and Burkina Faso. Ghana loses about $2 billion annually through this practice, which needs to be stopped immediately.
We need to expand our storage capacities. At the end of the day, we must see ourselves as an export market. Currently, you find all these big trucks coming from Mali, Niger, and Burkina to load products, finished products from Tema, all the way into the landlocked countries. We need to change some of these arrangements because they ain't helping us any. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the saga of products meant for the export market being dumped right in Ashama and Teleku. A truck loads up products from Tema bound for Mali. It takes off, and the next day the same truck comes back to Tema to load another set of products, having made the distance between Tema and Bamako return in one day. We still load them. Building infrastructure, new infrastructure around the country will help change some of these arrangements. And we are therefore asking that the opportunities available will be investment in product storage facilities and port infrastructure such as jetties, conventional buoy moorings, single point moorings. There's also the investment opportunities in the transportation and distribution facilities such as pipelines, barges, rail wagons, and supply vessels.
Let's go to the interbank market where the pound is selling at 5 cedis 45 pesos, the US dollar going for 4 cedis 21 pesos, and the euro selling at 4 cedis 63 pesos. We also bring you latest prices of major commodities on the international market. That was business brought to you by NIB and Ernest Chemist.
For staying on, and you're welcome to this segment. The heart needs electrical activity to enable a beat from one part to the other. One will suffer a complete heart block when the heart's electrical activity is interrupted. This is the plight of Madame Christina Adai, a 66-year-old trader who hails from Kofodia. She has spent her entire fortune battling with complete heart block and is therefore appealing for €3,500 to enable her to undergo treatment. A report by Sarah Fori.
The human heart is a muscle that lies left of the chest. It has about the size of a fist. The heart is the pump that sends blood around the body. Although generally divided into 4 chambers, that is, the right and left ventricles, as well as the right and left atrium, the heart also relies on specific arteries, veins, and valves to enable it to function effectively. The heart solely depends on what is termed as electrical activities to initiate heartbeats, without which a complete heart block occurs.
For the heart to be able to beat, it needs some electrical activity to move from one part of the heart to the other. So the electrical activity would usually begin from the upper part of the heart and move down to the lower part of the heart. Now, some conditions happen such that this electrical activity is interrupted. So there is a junction where between the upper part of the heart and then the lower part of the heart, where this electrical activity has to pass through. It's like a junction. So if this junction is defective, then the person develops what we call a complete heart block.
The heart is designed to beat up to 90 times a minute whilst it pumps blood to other parts of the body. However, this isn't the case of one with a complete heart block.
Somebody with complete heart block, the heart rate or the heart will beat less than 60 times in a minute. So averagely, some of them may come with the heart beating about 40 times a minute, some of them 30 times a minute, or in severest forms, they may even come with 20 times per minute.
66-year-old Christiana Adai is a mother of 2 who was compelled to stop trading due to heart block. She said she has spent a fortune whilst pursuing treatment. Her children have also tried as much as they could to foot her treatment, but to no avail.
The doctor said, Mammy, Nanti, Mammy, Yajuma, intimity, I was swimming or trini, and Crawford and Mammy scout Tabianidi. It will be doing me, I know Mammy Kakra, wait me, I know Mammy Kakra. Eti medical to ma sorry for any almost is kind of so. It woman, Timmy Bestra Manfo, one woman, one for an into radianum. Our woman, no one appreciate him. I mean, now I say why. I mean, no be our baby.
According to Dr. Azamli, it is a common condition in adults, but rarely are people born with it. A patient is easily fatigued and can suddenly collapse unless a pacemaker is installed and connected to the heart.
A pacemaker is usually fixed on the chest, the front side of the chest. That's the basic form of it, on the chest. And then a special cable is connected to it into the heart. So it makes the heart to beat fast. So it sends another electrical energy or power to the heart to make the heart beat fast to the normal number of times we mentioned. Once the pacemaker is fixed, it lasts for 7 to 8 years. So it means once it's fixed for somebody, every 7 to 8 years, the person has to change it. Of course, we monitor it, so there's a machine that will determine exactly when you should change it.
Having a pacemaker comes with restrictions.
It has a magnet. It has some magnetic system within it. So you cannot do tests like MRI, because once you go in, it will disrupt the magnetic system within the pacemaker. And then also when you are going through airports, so usually we give them a special card, because once you go to the scanner is going to pick that you have a metallic object on you. So you need that card to carry along every time you are traveling, to show at the airport that, look, I have a pacemaker, so you don't pass through the scanners.
Madam Christiana Adai, who needs €3,500 to have a pacemaker, is appealing for help. Donations could be sent to the Koforidua branch of GCB Bank, account name Christiana Adai, account number 20110100251178, or MTN mobile money number 0242 470 272. Sarah Fleury, GBC24, Accra.
And the amount is too small. Please support a worthy cause. You're still live on GBC24 and GTV, and you're watching News R. We'll be back with international news. The leaders of a nationwide military mutiny in the Ivory Coast have accepted a government proposal on bonus payments and agreed to return to barracks and end their revolt. The spokesman said the deal included an immediate bonus payment of 5 million CFA, equivalent to $8,400 for the 8,400 mutineers, and a
Hello, good evening. Let's talk sports. The Ghana Football Association has officially unveiled Mr. James Kwesi Appiah as the coach of the Black Stars. The former captain, Stephen Appiah, has also been named as the coordinator between the technical team and the playing body. In a well-attended event at the Ghana Football Association Secretariat in Accra, the 56-year-old James Kwesi Appiah was unveiled as the substantive coach of the senior national male football team, the Black Stars. The GFA Vice President, Mr. George Free, outlined the tasks of the coach and announced the new backroom staff for the Black Stars.
First is to build a very strong national team, A and B. 2 is to qualify us to the AFCON 2019. 3 is to win us the AFCON 2019. And 4, he should employ his possible best to qualify the Black Stars to the World Cup 2018. The first assistant coach for the Black Stars is Tanko Ibrahim. The second assistant coach is Maxwell Kunedu. The goalkeeper's coach is Mr. Richard Olele Kinsey. Our new team physician or team doctor is Dr. Chris Adumako. Captain John Kwesi Nyamiche is our physiotherapist. Our new Mazer is Ni Amasa Anum, the position of the technical coordinator. And that position goes to Stephen Tornado.
Coach James Kwesi promised to do his best for the country.
I cannot do this work alone. I'm 100% sure Ghanaians wanted me to come back, with the intention that our own should try to achieve something for our country. I will urge each and everyone to be behind me. I will do everything within me to make sure, the success or the laurels that Ghana used to win, we are able to achieve.
Coach Appiah 5 games coming up in the next 3 months. His first assignment will be in June when he plays Ethiopia in the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier. Then 2 international friendlies against Mexico and USA on the 28th and the 1st of July follows. Mr. Appiah and his team will then assemble a CHAN team to face Burkina Faso in the 2018 CHAN final round qualifier. A snooker player based in the Western region, Prince Noga is the new national champion. Prince came from 2 games down to beat Sunday Oko Otoye from Nigeria in the grand finale of the 2017 National Pool Tournament. The 2017 National Pool Tournament was staged at the Accra Sports Stadium. 48 finalists from all over the country participated. The competition was full of surprises as defending champion Alexander Opong had little chance in his bid to defend his title. He was knocked out in the very opening round of the competition. Prince Noga from Takrady in the Western region and Sunday Oko Otoni, a Nigerian based in Ghana, overcame all their opponents to reach the decider in a growing competition that traveled deep into the night. The Nigerian began on a good note as he won the opening 2 games in the best-of-5 series. Noga, however, maintained a calm composure despite pressure from his fans who had traveled from Takrady. In the end, Noga proved even to force a deciding 5-game, which again, Otoni had several chances to save, but failed endlessly. It all came down to one final ball, and again it was the Nigerian who had the clear opportunity, still could not win until Noga finally had his chance and took it with both hands, striking a super hit to win the tie 3-2 and also become the new Ghana Pool champion.
That difference in your memory shell out. Why are they? What support him nice? Now Accra boys, my boys all Accra. Not circle funia. Sometimes game all born outside like places like Cape Coast. So born outside because sometimes police phone high. If you say be a obo pool, maybe a way a kubala and say no way a kubala. The person yes from say send hunters for a boy or game or mukosu.
In game or in football too, it used to happen. From 1-0, you can be opponent. If this guy can win you 10 straight goals, it's game. Maybe next time, if I can, I will be sensitive with the game. I get hope for the next season. Maybe I will still be among the players that will participate again.
For finishing third, Collabo Vani received a refrigerator and souvenirs from sponsors. The runner-up took home a flat-screen television and souvenirs from sponsors. For emerging champion, Noga took home a brand new pool table, a trophy, and goodies from sponsors. The brand's manager of Hunters Gold Drink, Jude Marty, promised more support for the sports.
My greatest wish is for us to have an invitation to participate in the South Africa tournament this year in September. So we'll keep our fingers crossed, hoping that that invitation will be extended to us.
The CEO of Afro Digital Promotions, organizers of the event, Nujo Agbenu, hinted on the formation of a snooker association in Ghana.
We are going to establish the Snooker Pool Association strongly because without the Snooker Pool Association of Ghana, pool players or snooker players in Ghana cannot go international. So our main aim in 2017 and beyond is to get the Snooker Pool Association of Ghana well established so that we can go international and bring glory to Ghana.
The 2017 National Snooker Championship started in February. Going to Tema, where the under-15 ladies football team have qualified to participate in the upcoming Gothia tournament in Sweden. They won the SKF Meet the World Football Tournament in Tema. The maiden SKF tournament saw the participation of Tema under-15 ladies teams and countries in West Africa. All the contesting teams were identified by their colors. The teams played an entertaining and skillful football. The pink and orange ladies teams qualified for the finals. The 40-minute final game played on the same pitch was keenly contested. The pink ladies scored 3-0 against the orange ladies in the first half. The pink ladies again dominated the second half to double their tally. They carried the day with an impressive 6 goals without reply by the orange team. Outstanding players were honored with souvenirs. Second and third position teams received medals, whilst the winner took the trophy. The Member of Parliament for Tema Central said he wishes the tournament to unearth new talents.
I've always loved the youth. I've always been with the youth. When it comes to unearthing their talents, that's what I always do. Whatever we have here in Ghana, especially the talent that we have in Ghana here, I'm sure that with my support and your support, the future is bright.
The country director of the SKF tournament, Isaac Awuni, said the winner of the tournament staged in Tema, Ghana, will represent West Africa at the Gothia tournament to be hosted in Sweden in July this year. Gothia is the World Under-15 football tournament at which 180 countries would feature. CDH Financial Holdings has presented a check for 30,000 Ghana cedis in support of the 42nd Swag Awards night, which comes off on the 20th of May at the banquet hall. The gesture is to help the association and the organization of the prestigious event held consistently for the past 41 years. The Group Chief Executive Officer of CDH Financial Holdings, Mr. Emmanuel Edusa Akodie, said his outfit's decision to support the event is the long-standing credibility.
It's not one of those things where somebody has paid to be honored. These days, sports is not just sports. Sports is a diplomatic tool, it's a business tool, it's a social tool. It's everything, a lot more than just what we think is just sports.
The president of SWAG, Mr. Kobna Yeboah, was grateful for the gesture.
Let me take this opportunity to advise our sportsmen and women, most of who, after their career, fled with penury and pauperism. I think because of lack of investment, and if our sportsmen and women in their heyday, making so much money, if they want solid investment to take care of them in the twilight of their career, then I will recommend CDH.
The Swag Awards is scheduled for Saturday, May 27th at the Banquet Hall, State House, Accra. That's all for sports.
Communication via social media platforms has become part of people in all walks of life. But while sending that message to a friend, family, or loved one, we often make some typographical errors which sometimes go unnoticed. On the entertainment and art news today, we take a look at some social media fields across various social media platforms.
Wait. For no first minutes, na me share chinchimi. No abobo konyo shishi tintimi. Obie to den so I made my mintibi. Papa wo na na ewu mpo ma ne finger dibi. Fresh boy, men kase de bia na bonyo. Me tempum bon, ne hwema ide omo. Yolo, one na ne girls nyanye kolo. Perfume ashe ne ma ne pa shadow obolo. Papi kojo, I'm in the men's sada. I'm a stand-up guy into mint nada. Nyame di mu musu de minchi yada. Mumbo bianti minchi yada. What? Chene mam, brone mam. who them girl now, Renamam. Bet she rush me chest, Renamam. I feel a me, me girl, she won't come. Why lit? How kids? Bear believe in me star, my grits. Shame me swag, the band, my taste. Shame me watch for what time I lit.
And now for some bits of entertainment news.